Previously on Miss President.
Our forefathers worked hard to build this nation. I want us to take the mantle and take it to the next level.
Elimu watoto wapate. Mtoto wa mwanarika asome. Yote tunawezekana tukiwa na serikali ya haki na serikali ya ukweli.
Ukiona hii chama yetu inaitwa Game Changer Party. Sisi tuna change game.
Anasimamia uchumi wenye ubunifu.
Tumesema tunainuka pamoja. Tunainuka pamoja. Hii leo tumekuja hapa kwa ajili ya kuomba kura zenu.
Naelewa shida ambayo vijana wanapitia kwa sababu ya ukosefu wa kazi.
And now the end is near, and so they face the final curtain. My friend, they'll make it clear, they'll state their case, of which I'm certain. And now that we are close to the final curtain for season 2 of the Miss President reality TV show, gears have once again shifted and the long journey traversing the country has started. Let us see how they're doing it their way. This week's show will allow us all to get some additional knowledge on who the finalists really are, where they come from, and who takes credit for shaping them and turning them into the strong women leaders they are today. Over 700 applications were received from all over Kenya, and from these, 350 contestants were shortlisted. After a series of auditions, over 50 women were selected, and they will now battle it out at the Academy for the coveted title of Miss President. Here are the top 6 contestants left in the competition. This week's episode was filmed across 6 counties, and let me tell you for a fact, Kenya is beautiful. Each county has grown in many ways: infrastructure, hospitality, agriculture, and much, much more. From lake to ocean, we crisscross the country to delve into the lives of our top 6 contestants, and these are their stories.
An opportunity to meet a phenomenal, intentional leader who is also a professional. The name is Pauline Adhiambo Onguko. So proud to be from Siaya County, County 041. That's me, ever ready to take up a challenge and also a willing learner.
Pauline has been the director of Governor's Service Delivery Unit, which was established to support the governor deliver on his manifesto, and generally to attend to the flagship projects and the challenging area of project implementation.
Pauline Onguko I knew much earlier, even before this program. We have undertaken several programs with her, and initially the first one we started with her, the A Million Plus pads, that is AMPAD. But before that, how I met Pauline was in a conference after the governors were sworn in. Our first conference was on HIV/AIDS, and during the conference, I noticed her because she was very articulate. She was one of the facilitators there.
Pauline, outside Miss President, is also a professional. So I got some work to do at the county government offices. And one of the toughest, but also not so tough because it involves you and I. Another interesting fact is that I also love socializing. So I have my friends. And that's why I have a great group called Voices of Women, We also have a professional group of women known as SIA Women Caucus. Here we bring in what everybody has. There we have teachers, we have nurses.
Yeah, I've known Pauline Onguko for over 5 years in a work environment. We work together. We're serving the county government of SIA. She served in different capacities, including being the PA for the governor, and also as an administrator, and also at one stage the head of Governor's Service Delivery Unit. While working with her, I found her to be a competent officer.
I'm a mentor to many. I mentor schools, quite a number of schools in this county, and I want to appreciate the Ministry of Education for also giving out that space so that I feel so proud when I go to a school and I'm told this particular lady or this particular got a B- and said you motivated her.
Mentorship ya Madam Pauline imenisaidia mimi kama msichana. Sasa najua mimi ni mtu muhimu sana. Sifai tu kucheza tu hivyo.
Madam Pauline is like, okay, I can say she's my role model, and I really admire to be like her because she's just wow. She's just wow.
I am also a leader by virtue that I'm a founder of Motisha Adada initiative that even got funding during COVID.
Motisha Adada initiative is very passionate about empowering girls and by extension women. So this has been our meeting point. Those that walk in come with issues that they want to address. And I want to say that we appreciate Motisha Adada because they've really worked together with the women. So they have sessions where they sit together. They learn, they do their what I would want to call the psycho-social counseling, where they sit together, discuss their issues, matters that are affecting them. And one of the key issues that we have found out is that empowerment economically is an issue that is in this community setting, whereby if they are not empowered in terms of economically, then sometimes they get into other issues that may affect their lives and even their families.
But I think my greatest achievement is getting a woman who had started doing commercial sex work out of that business. Her child had dropped out of school, came running to me and told me, I don't want to do what my mother does. And today that girl is in school excelling. Today that woman has come back and told me, I did not know that I can still do other things.
Kwa na msichana anaenda kufanya mtihani class 8. Huyo msichana alikuwa amefanya mtihani mpaka amepita. Sita akaenda shuleni akaomba nafasi mpaka mtoto akaenda kuingia Raleo Secondary School. Mtoto kama anataka tu kitu kidogo anakuja hapa anaomba ananipatia. Hii ilikuwa ni kitu kazuri sana kuliko kuenda kule niende nilale hawa friends ndio nipate pesa.
Getting a girl in school who said she had lost hope. But then today after I went to that school and just gave a word of encouragement, she realized she can make it. One of the areas that we realized is key is food security. And other than food security, our economy. So when you look at these fish cages, they are able to hold millions of these fish. And so where do we get our markets? Within the county and also out of the county. So I'm a proud owner, together with the voices of women, when it comes to this fish farming. One of the things that I love about this nation of Kenya is that out here, all of us must make Kenya better. And to the world, this is a country to watch. A country where the next female president may be the one speaking to you here today.
I admire Pauline greatly. She is actually a great leader. And I'm very proud of her. And I know she's going to make it. She's brought in a lot of issues, and they brought in a lot of issues that affect women. And one of the things that stood out to me, and you talked about 7 governors out of 47. So that has sort of inspired me to say that, no, the space is there, but we have to grab it.
In deciding who is the best, I think Pauline is grounded on values. She is a strong character. She will get the assignment done. So I think she brings to the fore the best of a woman.
Pauline has a lot of potential. She's dynamic and very energetic and puts her mind in something that she wants to do. And when she wants to do something, she'll make sure she does it to the end.
I am willing, I've given myself out there, that is possible even come 2027 to see me on the ballot. Not because there are no other women, but because I have made myself to dare out there.
I like the weather in Kiambu County. It is quite serene, and I think that's an environment I would want to see for Kenya. I would want us to keep growing it, to maintain it as it is, so that even my next generation will be able to enjoy it.
I am an accountant and Angel's uncle. She has grown up having a single mom. She's that girl, whenever she sees you, she's always smiling and laughing and always asking questions. Angel is a representative of a Kenyan lady who has not allowed culture or any stigma or other gender biasness to limit her.
When I was a teenager, I thought I'd become the next biggest news anchor in Kenya. But then I went into the university, and that exposed me to leadership. When I was looking for communication, leadership was thrown at me many times.
I think I've known her now for the last 7 years, since 2015, when she was a deputy president of the SONU under Babu Owino. And she did a credible, marvelous job, which opened up opportunity for other student female leaders.
So in 2014, I met Angel Mbuthia at the University of Nairobi. So every term, it was a tradition that you get a deputy, and the deputy was to be from the opposite gender. So in 2016, that was the easiest race ever, because Angel came in and added the move. What we lacked in our team, actually she provided. So intellectually, she's proper. She's very well organized, and she's a go-getter. And I believe that if Angel is given an opportunity to serve as Miss President, then she would serve better.
I met Angel back in 2014 when I was campaigning for this position of the Deputy President of SONU. So I was addressing the first years of 2014 class, and Angel was in that class. And when I finished addressing the class, Angel followed me. And she was like, give me your number. Can you be my mentor? And we became friends. And truly, every campus I addressed, I would tag her along. I love how she consults. I love how she has the quest to learn. I love how she has the quest to approach people. Angel will approach a president, my friend.
I met Angel in, I believe, 2016. Yeah, 2016. She was still at the University of Nairobi, and she was the vice president of the student union at that time. And I think UON was quite strategic, being one of the premier unis in Kenya. When you're able to enter University of Nairobi, then the other universities will almost follow suit or support you. I've seen her grow, and I can't wait for what the future holds for her.
And because of her vigor, her temerity, and her zeal, I met her sitting in the same board with me. Today, we sit in the Youth Advisory Board together. Actually, she was appointed before me, and that's my God. I don't know you guys whether you have that. You feel what I used to feel. It's like bringing a baby, the steps, the baby glowing, doing all the good things. I'm like, oh, that's my baby. Actually, she's the chair of a committee where I'm a member for programs and resource mobilization. She's the chair. She's my boss in that space. So every time I see Angel shining there, doing her thing there, I feel good, because many people come to this space, but sustainability, it's not there. Consistency is not there. The will is not there. The zeal dies.
I met Angel Mbuthia, Wadida. A young lady, when they visited Parliament, in the 11th Parliament, during the National Prayer Breakfast Week, we usually hosted student leaders from various universities. I was the one tasked with the responsibility of taking them, around Parliament and addressing them in the chambers of Parliament. And I think That's when we had a conversation and we exchanged numbers, and a very good friendship started from there. I mean, she really wanted to make a difference and to stamp her authority as a young woman leader, really. We later on got involved in her work, as she was working with ASU, All African Students Union, based in Ghana. She borders on the technical political, which is a very rare combination. The best exemplification of such is Moi Kibaki, I think, because many a politician are just politicians. But you need to have people who have, you know, something upstairs. I believe that the best way to look at someone's leadership capacity is to see their journey towards that which they aspire to become. And this can only be attained through direct and active mentorship. So for Angel and I think we have walked that journey. It's not just theoretical.
One thing I know for sure is that if I was given the opportunity to ask where I would want to be born, I would still choose Kenya, because it's a country that it is developing, it is growing, and I want to be part of that transformation. I want to be part of the success as well and the journey as well. That is why I have been in places where we are advocating for equality, for security, and for prosperity. And I'd like every other Kenyan to know that I am very passionate about seeing the success of this country. I do it in this country and abroad. I will not stop doing that regardless of the circumstances.
Me, I believe this, na believe hivi. Zile experience nimepitia kama mzaliwa wa Kayole, nimesomea Kayole, nimelelewa Kayole, nimejaribu kutafuta kiti ya mheshimiwa kwa hii country, na pia nimeenda pale Miss President na nikafunzwa. Hizo experiences zote zimeni prepare kukuwa the ultimate Miss President.
So, you know, I always joke with my friend that you know, growing up in Kayole and Soweto, I actually did not know we were poor until we visited my friend's sister in Buruburu. And I was like, my goodness, you mean people can actually have access to their basic rights, like access to water every other day. And just trying to find mentors I can journey with, right? Is what led me to select the people who've really had the most impact in my life, you know.
I met Bina in the development sector when she was working with different agencies, working with the empowering women and especially young women. And for instance, Badili Africa. And one of the programs that she was involved in is actually an area that is of interest to me, on women in leadership. So I have worked with her very closely on mentoring young people, and I've also worked closely on training women in political leadership.
I met Bina in one of very interesting, it was a very interesting meeting. I was working as a magistrate at the City Hall. I'd gone with a friend of mine. We were going for lunch with one of the directors of education at Jogo House. So we had gone to pick him. He was called Mr. Oruko. So as usual in government offices, you're made to wait. So we are sitting here in the reception and we are waiting for Mr. Oruko to finish. So in comes a lady, an old lady, and in tow she had this small child. I would say she was young. And this girl is destitute. We need to support her. I think she has a good case. I think she has merit, but I don't understand her certificates. So I told her, what don't you understand about certificates? So he says, you know, you are the one whose children go to these English schools, the GCE schools, because her certificates were for GCE. I told her, let me see. I looked at the thing. I said, what? This girl is brilliant. And we decided, just like that, we are going to take this girl, we are going to give her a chance, and we are going to see how far she will go.
I think the beauty about Bina is she just does not talk about it, she walks the talk. So if, like, the idea of justice is so crucial to her being that if you're around her, whether you like it or not, you will become more interested in this space. So I think over time, she really got me to be more of a responsible citizen, just because she would be like, you gotta do this. It's not performance driven. It's not give me a platform, then I'll lead. That without the lights and the cameras, without the attention of the title, Bina leads. Bina will mobilize the women. Bina will take the nduthi and go for that meeting. Bina will show up. Bina will come to my coffee with all these GBV cases and pour her heart out on how broken she is and how she's trying to find a solution for the women. It's not about the platform. This is her.
The first time I met Bina, I'm not sure how she got my contacts, but then I saw this very passionate young woman, and she's someone who has inspired me a lot, just to think that we come from completely different backgrounds and how she's managed to grow herself, and not just herself, her family.
Yeah, well, I would say that Bina is a very good candidate for Miss President Kenya. But I would also want to say this is an excellent program. You can see a lot of, at least in our party, there are 2 women who are involved in this program who are now members of parliament. So they need to take this program very seriously, because it's a platform that gives women an opportunity to be known, to be heard, and to be felt.
So when I got to know Bina, she had this initiative which was about supporting women who are in chamas to become, to raise their voices beyond just working in their community or being in those chamas, but also to raise their profile as active political agents in their community. And that was very inspiring.
So you find that we are able to organize very well in chamas, but then this does not translate into political voice, right? When it comes to holding our leaders accountable, you know, we put money together to take our kids to school, but then how then can we come together to hold our leaders accountable? How then can we come together to invest in that woman who's willing to run for office and actually win?
Amesaidia mayutu wengine wenye tulikuwa tunachoma, wenye tulikuwa tunatumia drugs pamoja. Saa hizi hatuwezi choma, hata tujui hizo drugs zinatumika aje, hatujui zinapatikana wapi. Saa hizi hata tukipita karibu na hizo mandao, mkisikia harufu unasikia kutabika. Juu Bina Maseno ametumenta, ametuweka line na ametufunza respect. Ama walking testimony wa Badili Africa through Bina Maseno.
Alikuwa nasema hata ukipata mtoi is not the end of the road. Unaweza amuka na ufanye something. Mimi hata sikuwa naweza kuongea, lakini Bina ali make sure nimekuwa na confidence na najua rights zangu.
When you look at the work that we do, we are dealing with issues like you know, political participation of young people, of grassroots women, employment opportunities, economic exclusion, ending sexual and gender-based violence at a micro level. And I'm saying micro level because we are working in about 3 counties in the urban informal settlements in those counties. And that is why I'm very keen to ensure that I actually get Miss President, because we already have plans and strategies that we've put in place on how we want to work and expand in other counties and ensure that we build a collective voice of grassroots women organizing in chamas, of young people. And not only that, but also partnering with the county governments to ensure that we achieve this plan, you know, because we can't achieve it alone. It will take the government, it will take the donor community, and it will take us as citizens working together to achieve our common good and prosperity. So I already have mapped out who I need to work with, how. I'm just waiting for when.
My name is Dr. Frida Karani na tupo katika jimbo la Embu siku ya leo. Kwa masomo mimi nimetrainiwa nikiwa kama mwana sosiolojia na pia mtaalamu wa mambo ya kijamii almaarufu social work. Pia mimi nimekuwa mkufunzi wa chuo kikuu cha Embu hadi wakati fulani ambapo nilitoka katika ukufunzi nikaingia katika siasa.
My name is Kennedy Karani and we are in Brewery Murwatetu Estate, Embu, and Frida Karani is my first daughter. I remember some time that Frida and her mother got a puncture and she was very young. So I asked her, how did you do it? She was showing me a small thing which defeated her to fix as a washer on the wheel. And I was so impressed. I said, wewe utaenda mbali.
Frida, as I know her, when she was a small girl, she was so playful and a loving girl. She was a crowd puller. She used to pull so many kids around the estate where we used to live, and they could listen to her. And then I was telling the father, I think this thing started a long time ago. When she was even 2 years, she could sleep on a couch, anachukua gazeti analala hapo atasoma gazeti, na ni mtu wa 3 years. Tunamkuta hapo amekaa na gazeti, very serious, na hata hataki kujua. So that was Frida. Then as she grew up, she was in groups. She could talk to women group, to chamas. Unaona, she's the chair of the chamas. So I think this thing has grown in her. It has grown slowly by slowly until she has reached.
Dr. Kalani, I met her a long time ago when she was young at the university. That time she was in sports, and I was also in an official in the sports, and we have walked a long journey with her. So after university, we decided to have a club of athletics to nurture the talent in Embu and leadership through our club. And then we started Embu High Attitude Club together with Embu College. 2 years ago, we organized through her the doping seminar for all sports in Embu and the surrounding counties. We have a leader who is in the forest, and a leader who comes to the light. You'll be the light of this country, not only in Embu, because she's so enlightened in so many things. There is no challenge which you give to Dr. Frida and she will not solve.
Jina yangu naitwa Beth Wawera. Mimi ni athlete kwa seniors. I participate in shot putting. Na nilikuja hapa kwa hii club. Nilikuwa na 6 meters, sasa nimefika 8.3 meters. I love management ya Dr. Frida. Ndio amenisaidia sana mpaka nikafika hapo nimefika sahi.
I'm a fresh graduate, recently from University of Embu. And Dr. Frida Karani is my sister. And she has played a very huge role in my life. I can say she is one that you don't want to miss in your life, because she has been there with me to support me throughout my education life. Even right now, as we talk, she's currently mentoring me into being a young leader. And a lot she has done. I don't know even where to start.
Nilipowapeleka katika shule ya msingi ya Kameo, nilichagua ile project manake watoto wakati wanapoform maadili, ile tunaita character formation na value formation katika ule umri, ni muhimu sana already wakiwa wanaambua pia yale mambo ambayo watakutana nayo katika maisha, kama mambo ya uongozi, mambo ya amani, mambo ya usalama, na pia mambo ya ubadilikaji wa tabia nchi, climate change.
My name is Yusra Hussein. My school is Kameo Primary School. I am in class 8K. Dr. Frida has mentored me. She has taught me how to be responsible, and sometimes she helps us and our school. She brings sanitary towels for the girls, and she built the toilets.
I think that my mom will be the next Miss President because she's a courageous woman. She's a faithful woman, and I know she can do it. She struggles a lot at least to do something for the best of her future.
Kwa majina ni Elizabeth Wanjamboya.
Mi hufanya kama community empowering in social life. Frida ametusaidia sana kwa community ya Embu. He has gone through mpaka mbele huko, amesaidia watu wengi sana. Hapo tuko kuna watoto ambao analipia karo ya shule ambao hawana wazazi, na bado pia anaendelea kusaidia vikundi vya wamama wajane na pia wale watu ambao ni wako na ulemavu.
Kwa majina ni venye umesikia, naitwa Joseph Kariuki. Tumesaidiana na Daktari Frida Karemi sana. Akatusaidia, akatufundisha venye tutakuwa tunafanya mambo na security. Si kama mbeleni sasa venye watu walikuwa wanapigana. Saizi kukitokea jambo, watu wanaenda wanaongea, wanasikizana ama wanapelekana station. Hata ile fitina ilikuwa inaonekana na watu wa bodaboda, siku hizi haionekanangi. Watu wamekaa na amani juu ya Daktari Frida. Dr. Karani anaweza kuwa Miss President mwenyewe juu hatujawahi ona kitu kama hiyo huku Embu tena.
Tukisonga kutoka mwisho wa Miss President, ile jambo nitafanya sana kutokana na hiyo Miss President ni kuweza kutumia ile opportunity ama ile title kubisha milango niweze kutafuta partners katika kazi yangu. Na pia nina aim kuguza maisha ya mwanamke zaidi. Manake ukiangalia hapa Kenya hata kwa katiba hatujaweza kuachieve ile tunaita 2/3 gender role. So nitatumia hii title ya Miss President kuwahimiza wanawake ya kwamba kuna nafasi zao katika serikali na waweze kuchukua hizo nafasi. Na kupitia Miss President nitahakikisha ya kwamba nimefikia wanarika wengi na tuweze kuaddress zile issues wako nazo, kadri walivyo nazo na kadri tutakavyozungumza na wao.
I am Miss President, Taita Taveta County, and I work for the County Assembly of Taita Taveta as the head of research and information, and I also do a lot of community work through my CBO. So basically, I'm a person who wears, many caps.
Okay, what I can say about Milka, she's a good team player, and she has really helped this assembly to sort so many issues.
Milka Riga was heading the Department of Gender and Social Services in the county government of Taita Taveta. And we were having a program that we were implementing jointly with the county first lady to try and support adolescents' health initiatives in the county. We were looking at young girls and young boys to be able to be supported with intervention to improve adolescents' health within the county.
One of the things that actually has kept me going, because doing work for the community is not easy, because I could choose to sit down and say I'm comfortable. But then I look through the lenses of my mother, I look through the lenses of my daughter. What kind of world do I want for her?
She's my mom, she is my best friend, she is my support system, and she's my encouragement. She's practically everything to me.
Mimi najua Milka anaweza kabisa, anaweza. Kwa sababu Milka mwenyewe amezaliwa kiongozi. Jambo lingine zaidi ni mtu anapenda kusaidia. Mahali tunaishi sahii, tulikuja tukapata mtoto mwenye shida ya utumbo, na huyu mtoto hawezi kujisaidia na anajisaidia na huku kando. But Milka took the initiative ya kufanya WhatsApp group. Ile mtoto alichangiwa na akapelekwa Kijabe hospital, na vile tunaongea sasa hii huyo mtoto alirudi kuishi maisha yake very very normal.
Nilikuwa namregesha clinic, tulirudi kama karibu miezi 6 hivi. Ndio so kutoka hapo tukarudi sasa, nikaja nikampeleka shule. Na kweli nimeona mabadiliko kwa sababu sasa anaenda chuo vizuri. Nashukuru Mungu kwa sababu ilikuwa wakati mgumu sana kwa upande wangu kama mzazi.
I've invested a lot in mentorship, both in terms of my time, my resources, and I believe in starting from the time the child is very young, and that's why you saw that the kids that I'm dealing with, the scouts, they're in grade 3, grade 2, grade 4.
Mwatate Junior Preparatory must go green.
And who's going to make Mwatate Junior Preparatory go green?
Scouts.
It is?
Scouts.
So you take the lead and you pass the message to the other students. And I'm here today because apart from being a scout leader, I am participating in a program called Miss President. How many of you have heard about it? How many of you have heard about it? How many of you have seen it on TV? Very well, put your hands down. So what we are doing is basically trying to bring up leaders. And you're the leaders of today and tomorrow. No one should tell you that you're the leaders of tomorrow. Are you the leaders of tomorrow? Who are the leaders of today? Us, all of us.
So one of my areas, my catchment areas where I've been working a lot is with schools, and that is why I chose a school setting purposely because, and that's actually the other reason why I became a scout leader. Because as a scout leader, then I have an opportunity to be able to shape and to build lives.
She's actually a gifted young lady, able to do much things at a time. Once she's given that space, she can explore her skills of leadership and that passion and zeal to the society and the country at large.
The project has had a big impact. The impact, we realized the impact after the COVID pandemic because schools were closed. So when the schools were closed during the pandemic, most students will come here, especially those around. They will come here and read, and so this helped them. Milka Riga has been a member of this church for quite some time, and so she's the one who initiated this project.
Milka, she's now an example to women outside there. She has proven that a woman can do much better than sometimes people say than a man. I think what I can say as the head of administration, she's one of the best female employees here. So even the women outside there, don't feel inferior. God has given you the ability, just explore on those abilities, work towards them, and I believe sky is the limit.
Really, I want to encourage the young girls to be leaders because it cannot be just boys who are vice president. For example, Tanzania, they have a female leader. That's Tanzania, the gender, it's like it's balanced, but here, all these years of elections, we've just had men. Kenyatta, Kibaki, Arap Moi, and seriously now Ruto. Why can't a woman just be a president?
Being in this competition, it's what makes her explore even better her potential. Because what we see of her here, I think this competition has even made us to understand her even better, that she has the courage and determination to do better and great things.
I feel so proud of my mom because it's like this whole show is helping her bring out her real self.
Just being able to empower people, being able to give hope to women, to youth, to young women. And I think the fact that I've been able to put my life out there, I have been a voice to the people. So all that I think culminates, I think in resolving issues for so many people at the end of the day, and just being able to give myself.
Vitu ninavyopenda kutokana na kaunti yangu. Kaunti yangu ina ustahimilivu wa hali ya juu. Because there is always the notion of, there is Diani, there is, there is nice places that people keep talking about. Na hata mwanzoni watu wengi ukiwatajia Ukunda ama Diani, wanafikiri iko Mombasa. Na Kwale ilikuwa haiwezi kuonekana kama Kwale, ilikuwa inajulikana kama Coast. But another thing I love about Kwale, of course, it's the culture. We have a beautiful culture that has allowed us to be able to contain some of our cultural preferences, our huku ndo bado watu wanapeana shikamoo. Mimi nikikutana na watu nawaambia shikamoo, wanashangaa.
Nilikutana na Nuru kama mwaka mmoja na nusu uliopita, lakini si kwa mazingira haya. Tulikutana katika mazingira yetu ya kikazi, maana yeye kando na sisi kuwa hapa pamoja, Nuru pia ana shughuli zake kule nje ambazo zinampatia kula kwa kila siku, hali kadhalika na mimi pia niko na shughuli zangu kule nje zinazonipatia kula kwa kila siku. Kwa hivyo tulipatana kule kiupande wa kikazi hata kabla hatujaanza kupatana hapa Red Cross.
Nuru is she's our board member. She's also a chair for Resource Mobilization Committee. She joined Kenya Red Cross Kwale branch in 2013 as a life member. When she was elected as a board member, I was learning, like, every time I see her or we interact, I get something extra from her.
Nuru ni mdogo wangu sana, na wakati ule nikashika kwamba ni msichana ambaye anaenukia vizuri, na ni msichana ambaye wale watoto, kwa mfano wale watoto wangeulizwa, when you grow up what would you want to be? So if I was a child, a girl, I would say when I grow up I want to be like Nuru. Kulingana na vile ambavyo mimi nimemuona na nimemtathmini, ni msichana ambaye ana potential kubwa sana.
This little girl, first of all, she was so smart that I didn't want to delay to take her to nursery. So she went to nursery as early as 2.5 years. There she was made a class prefect. But she was so active, very smart here, that sometimes this teacher is feeling lazy to teach and says, Nuru, fundisha hawa.
If you want to go to a place very fast, go alone. But if you want to go to a place very far, go with others. And that is a philosophy you should be able to use to be able to reach the heights, because you cannot reach anywhere without somebody next to you. The idea about Miss President is handling the entire country, which she should be able to do. She's already in leadership and she's doing very well.
When I was doing my campaign and all over my talk in the Miss Academy, I was trying so much to highlight the potential of these marginalized communities and people who've not been included in conversations that go through development and what they can actually bring to the table. I was trying to open a window for people to see what can be presented by communities that they think don't know much.
Kwa majina naitwa Fatuma Nimbauri. Mimi kwa ufupi mimi ni mjane. Bwana wangu amekufa, lakini naishi hapa Denyeni ya Mwandimu. Kazi yangu ni kusuka makoti.
But these communities have indigenous knowledge that is first survival friendly. Two, environmentally very conscious, because they're providing items that can actually be met by accessing raw materials from within the environment. It's biodegradable, it can be reused, anybody can learn the skill, but we are under relying on them because we think if this is imported, it's better.
Hiki ni kifumbu na katika jamii yetu kinatumika kama kichungio cha nazi. Na ile nazi kishakunwa hapa inawekwa ndani. Inawekwa yale machicha. Alafu inakamuliwa.
We are having plastics always being thrown into the ocean. We are having fish folk dying because of toxins, but we are having a community that can provide all the necessary equipment you need in your house by just sitting with their hands and ensuring that they provide a good item for you to use. So I looked at it that way and I said, let's give them an opportunity. Let's see what they bring to the table. Now the other team that I chose was Sauti ya Wanawake. Sauti ya Wanawake works in the jurisdiction of my sub-county. And because I wanted this to be more or less an intimate conversation of people who actually share the same parameters of challenges and influences that I come from. I chose that group because also in their extent of interventions, they have a lot of knowledge of what a common woman, a common child from Kwale is going through. They have been able to interact and network with different levels of stakeholders, from the security teams, that is the security system, from the county administration, from the communities themselves, from religious leaders. They can see things from all those angles because of the nature of the work they have done. Most of them have been trained as also legal representatives or legal, let's say, community consultants. So they are able to actually articulate on some of the crimes that are common that we are working towards abolishing and trying to prevent people from. And I'm sure some of the solutions that I've come back with, and I was sharing with them, including the issue of developing the pad bank opportunities or intervention, so that we stop relying on the government is not doing, because we already know the community, we already know the people we work with, we know all heads of schools that are in our jurisdiction in the sub-county. Maybe we can start from there.
I want to tell the Kenyan women, Kenyan ladies, and Kenyan youth, the division is artificial. Women have the ability like anybody else, and they should shun away the traditional obstacles that have made women be very useless in this country.
Give your daughter a chance. Give your daughter a way. Guide her. Teach her. That help she will give to the community, not to be egocentric, but let her go and discover for herself how is the world. How are we to move? How are we to go?
Kwanza Nuru ni mfano mzuri. Ana wasichana marika zake hapa. Na sasa tusi tukimweka mbele pale. Wale wasichana wengine tutamwambia, hebu tusome kama dada Nuru.
Yeah, I strongly believe she has what it takes. For me, she's already Miss President of the whole of Kenya.
There you have it. Not just the intelligence, the strength and resilience, but also the humanity and reality behind the top 6 contestants. I hope it's given you a deeper insight into these contestants as you decide which one you will vote for as the next Miss President Season 2. See you next week during the debate on this final adventure toward Kenya's next Miss President. Now, to put into perspective how long the journey has been for the Miss President contestants in Season 2 to get to this final stretch of the marathon race, it has taken months. A queen, a king, 3 UK Prime Ministers, and 2 Kenyan presidents to get to this last lap. Surely, we can but only support, cheer, and urge them to put their best foot forward. I challenge you now with this quote from the American jazz legend Ella Fitzgerald. It isn't where you came from, it's where you're going to that counts. Thoughts, opinions, compliments, suggestions? Hit us on @media_focus. Find us on Facebook at MFA Media Focus in Africa, and check us out on Instagram at Media Focus in Africa. This show will be uploaded to YouTube. To view this episode and other episodes, including the full training sessions, kindly click on the link provided to access the Miss President YouTube channel. And remember to click, like, and subscribe to the only show where you never really know until you know.